Hi there, Fee again. So today I'm planning to do the full Pottermore Sorting Quiz. Now, obviously I've done the official Pottermore Sorting Quiz and it sorted me as Gryffindor twice. Or you could count 3 times with when Pottermore had its revamp, but I've always aligned myself with Gryffindor, and even then, once I was sorted into Gryffindor and Pottermore, that's my house. Sometimes I would say that I'm also drawn to Ravenclaw. Back before the Pottermore Sorting Quiz was around, I would often refer to myself as a Gryffindor. So today I'm going to sit down and do the full Pottermore Sorting Quiz to find out once and for all if I'm definitely a Gryffindor. I've got the quiz set up here, and I'll put a link to this version of the quiz in the Dropbox just in case anyone else wants to try this one out. I've skipped to what it says is question 3 of this test, just because the first couple questions weren't actually anything to do with the sorting part of the quiz. So let's get started. How would you like to be known in history? The good, the great, the wise, or the bold? Now, as nice as it would be to be thought of as wise or as a wise person in general, I don't really see me being dubbed the wise of anything. So I won't go for that one. The bold, although I tend to have some bold tendencies, I don't think, again, I wouldn't give myself that as a title. And as for the great, that just, it's very big-headed, I would say. No offense if you go for that option, but I think to be known in history, I would rather be known for having been good. One of the things I often say is that it's nice to be nice, and that seems to fall into that option. Which of the following would you most hate people to call you? Selfish, cowardly, ordinary, or ignorant? Now, of all these options, none of them are particularly positive, which I guess is kind of the point of the question. I sway towards ignorant just because the ignorance of others and their unwillingness to educate themselves on things that they are ignorant about tends to be one of my number 1 pet peeves. So because I'm so against that in other people, I would probably absolutely hate for people to consider me that myself. I was torn with ordinary as well, because I don't think I'm ordinary. I think I'm quite weird. And ordinary seems kind of like an insult, to be honest. But no, I'm going to go with ignorant. Given the choice, would you rather invent a potion that would guarantee you wisdom, love, glory, or power? Whenever I've had this question, it's never taken me too long to decide. I have no interest in power, or what that word could represent to me. The same with the glory. I really don't know how. Well, no, I guess I can see how people would want glory, but I've never exactly wanted fame, or to be famous, or to be well known, to be well received maybe, but it just doesn't really interest me. In terms of love, as much as I would love an improvement in my romantic life, of which there is none, that would be great, but then I wouldn't want that to be artificial, and also let's not forget that being the product of a forced love potion is what, more or less, what turns Tom Riddle into Voldemort. In terms of wisdom, I think everyone has their own intelligence, but I wouldn't necessarily say no to a boost in that. There are a lot of things in the world, and particularly areas of history, where I'm quite lacking purely because I didn't study it when I was in school. So wisdom is my choice for that. Okay, next question. After you have died, what would you most like people to do when they hear your name? I don't care what people think of me after I'm dead, it's what they think of me while I'm alive that counts. Ask for more stories about your adventures, think with admiration of your achievements, or miss you but smile. I don't think I'll go for ask more stories of my adventures, because I think I'd rather they do that whilst I'm alive. I wouldn't say I'm always the most adventurous person, but I do have stories about a lot of different things that I could tell people. And I would like to think that by the time I've died, I have achieved something with my life. There are a lot of things that I want to do within my lifetime that I imagine I will not get the chance to do the majority of, which is sad, but at least from my point of view at the moment it is probably definitely true. I'm a bit torn. Usually I would go miss you but smile, but I'm a bit torn with the first option. I don't care what people think of me after I'm dead, it's what they think of me while I'm alive that counts. Actually, no, because although I'm maybe not the most confident person, and some people's opinions really do matter a lot to me, I've reached a point in my life where I don't really care what people think of me. They're going to think what they're going to think. Whether that changes throughout the course of me knowing, that's neither here nor there. But no, I would rather be remembered by people who really mattered to me, or who felt I was of importance in their life. So miss you but smile. Once every century, the flutterby bush produces flowers that adapt their scent to attract the unwary. If it lured you, it would smell of a crackling log fire, parchment, the sea, or home. Now, I'm kind of immediately being drawn to the sea. A crackling log fire isn't something I'm necessarily aware of how it would smell, having grown up in a house that has an artificial fireplace. So yeah, the idea of it sounds really nice and cozy to me, but it probably wouldn't be the first smell I would go for. Home, I think, is really vague because I can't say I know what my home scent would be. There are a couple of scents, I suppose, that make me feel more at home, or remind me of home. But I'm drawn to the sea because having spent a couple years of my life at sea on cruise ships, it made me realise how much I do enjoy the smell of the ocean. It's really something different, and although it might be seen as cliche, that's my option, or that's my choice for this question. 4 boxes are placed before you. Which would you try and open? The ornate golden casket, standing on clawed feet, whose inscription warns that both secret knowledge and unbearable temptation lie within. The small pewter box, unassuming and plain, with a scratched message upon it that reads, "I only open for the worthy." The gleaming jet black box with a silver lock and key, marked with a mysterious rune that you know to be the mark of Merlin. Or the small tortoiseshell box embellished with gold, inside which some small creature seems to be squeaking. Now, I know from various things that I've looked at in the past, I know Merlin was actually a Slytherin, which, although that I do really want to know a lot more about Merlin, and his ties to Slytherin. I want to know more about that. The small pewter box, I would probably ignore that one because it does say I open only for the worthy, and I don't know that I'm the worthy one, so I could potentially choose that box and it doesn't open for me. So there's not much point in that. The golden casket, although it does sounds very pretty, but the unbearable temptation, that just, to me, that kind of screams, no, don't go there. So the small tortoiseshell box, I'm drawn to more, because it's also got a creature inside, and I'm generally quite good with animals, depending on what it is. But I keep going back to Merlin, just keeps flagging up for me. So this is actually becoming a lot harder than I would have thought, because I do want to know a lot more about Merlin. And the tortoiseshell box, although I would really like it as a box, it does seem, I don't know, I need to try and go with my instinct, but no, my instinct to want to know more about Merlin, so I'm gonna go for that and move on. What kind of instrument most pleases your ear? Trumpet, drums, piano, or violin? Now, this is probably going to be one of, if not the easiest question I have to answer. I love the violin. I'm crazy about Lindsay Sterling, and my love of her has made me love string instruments even more than I might before. I do like the piano, I like it a lot, but violin is just it. I actively listen to violin music or string instruments when I want to feel calm. I actually have a sleep playlist that has a lot of violin music and stuff on there, and it's just really soothing to me. So that's my option. 4 goblets are placed before you. Which would you choose to drink? The smooth, thick, richly purple drink that gives off a delicious smell of chocolate and plums. I'm not sure I would agree that chocolate and plums would smell nice together. The golden liquid so bright that it hurts the eye, and which makes sunspots dance all around the room. That just sounds like a headache. The foaming, frothing, silvery liquid that sparkles as though containing ground diamonds. Not sure the word frothing is getting me there. The mysterious black liquid that gleams like ink and gives off fumes that make you see strange visions. Okay, on instinct, I'm not sure I would want to drink or even go near any of these. The last one sounds like tar. It's black like ink and it gives off fumes. So I don't think I want to ingest that. The purple drink, it sounds like it's like some form of smoothie, which I don't mind, and of course I like chocolate, and I do like plums, but I really can't think of them going well together, so leaves the middle 2 options. It was initially the golden one that drew me. It does sound like it could make you feel kind of dizzy, though I don't know. I don't know, the foaming, frothing, silvery liquid. That's kind of just a fun part of the sentence to say. But no, I think I'm gonna go for the golden liquid because I don't know, it makes me think of Felix Felicis or Butterbeer or Golden and Warm, and yeah, that one. You enter an enchanted garden. What would you be most curious to examine first? The statue of an old wizard with a strangely twinkling eye, bubbling pool in the depths of which something luminous is swirling, silver-leafed tree bearing golden apples, or the fat red toadstools that appear to be talking to each other. I don't know. The strangely twinkling eye is ironically catching my eye. It does just make me think of Dumbledore. I'd be slightly curious to see what the fat red toadstools are talking about, but I would probably just still be weirded out by the fact that they were talking and walk away. A bubbling pool in the depths of which something luminous is swirling. That's kind of making me think of the pools in the underworld. I think I want to go for the silver-leafed tree bearing golden apples. Honestly, I want to look at it because I think it sounds pretty, and I would probably want to capture it or take pictures of it or something. A troll has gone berserk in the headmaster's study at Hogwarts. It is about to smash, crush and tear several irreplaceable items and treasures. You see a cure for dragonpox, which the headmaster has nearly perfected, student records going back 1,000 years, and a mysterious handwritten book full of strange runes which you believe to have belonged to Merlin. In which order would you rescue these objects from the Trolls Club if you could? Well, for one, I would wonder how on earth said troll got into the headmaster's study. They're not that smart, as we have learned. The other thing we have learned is that I'm quite intrigued by Merlin, so I definitely kind of want the book to be there. And although it's a mysterious book of strange runes, runes are something that is studied within the wizarding world and in our muggle world, so I don't think it might take some more effort than other kinds of inscriptions, but you would be able to do that. The cure has been nearly perfected, so obviously there's still work to be done there. We don't actually know how much work. The student records going back 1,000 years. I feel as though student records are probably a lot more important than we would think. It would interest me to know if there is any other form of recording these student details, or in fact how they're actually recorded. But I definitely want the book. So it's kind of between the records and the cure. I think I would want to rescue the records before the cure, just because I feel like I would want to have a look at them. I feel nosy and would want to learn about all the people. So, the cure would be the last. Doesn't mean it won't get rescued, and that it can't still be worked on, it's just not my first or second choice.